Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And let me take a moment, as my colleagues as well, to congratulate you on your ascension to the seat, and I look forward to working with you, and Administrator Huerta as well. We welcome you and look forward to working with you, and I particularly, as a congressperson who represents the city of Philadelphia and the airport outside the city of Philadelphia, but the airport within Philadelphia, we look forward to working with you on a number of the efficiencies that the FAA is part and parcel of, including the implementation of NextGen. So I'm grateful for those efforts, but look forward to your leadership in helping to push that as effectively as we can. I know in addition to one of our challenges has been, as you discussed, looking at all the options to reduce costs, and as part of the Reform Act, there's been direct responsibilities to look for ways to streamline the offices, to seek greater efficiencies, and to eliminate wasteful practices. So as part of that process, one of the things that I know has been undergone has been efforts to seek consolidation in various places, including consolidations of the air traffic control facilities in certain places. Are you familiar in much detail with that planning at this point in time?
Yes. That is a high priority for us because it has the potential to yield significant long-term efficiencies for the agency across the board.
Are you familiar with I'm holding in my hand an RFI, which is a request with respect to the air traffic control facilities in northeastern United States. Are you familiar with that project itself?
Yes.
Well, that's good as well, because on the RFI, one of the things that I was sort of struck by was the idea that as you were looking for consolidation was that the request is for an interest in properties that can be sold, land that can be sold to the United States. Why are we selling, or why are we looking to purchase property when arguably there's a great deal of governmental property that is out there that's underutilized?
Well, that's certainly something that we are also looking at. But the basic issue that we're looking at is these air traffic facilities that we are looking to upgrade and replace are replacing facilities that in some instances are over 50 years old. And long term, what we need to have is a property interest in them to ensure that we do not have ongoing lease costs.
Well, your question is different. What kind of a property interest, though? I mean, you need a property interest, sure, but there's a lot of properties that the government already owns. We have a property interest in certain locations, don't we?
Sure.
I'm speaking. If we have a place in which there's a viable, already owned federal facility, shouldn't that be a preference over purchasing private property?
It's very specific to the location factors in question with that property. Clearly, we will look at it.
Tell me what the location factors are and how they're relevant to the decision making.
Well, we're considering impact on employees. What would relocation costs be associated with employees? What are utility costs? How is the facility hardened so that it can be a secure facility for management of air traffic? Access to I mentioned the access to utility services, access to the facility itself. Is it well located? Are we able to reach it? It's a wide variety of traditional location factors that any business would consider.
Well, I'm reading this and it's saying that the facility is asking for a facility that is located in the state of New York, within 150 miles of downtown New York City, but located in the state of New York. Why must it be located in the state of New York?
The principal factor we're considering is to minimize the impact on the existing employees who are currently based in Long Island.
And what are they're based in Long Island?
Long Island, New York.
Where one of the factors is cost of living and things of that nature?
That is a factor throughout the entire Northeast.
So if there's a region in which the cost of living may be cheaper than actually living in New York, is that a factor that will be considered as well?
We're considering the all-in cost of operating the facility over its useful life.
Are you familiar with the Willow Grove Naval Air Station?
I am not.
Is it something that you can get yourself familiar with in time to be responsive to this January 31st request? It is with 150 miles of New York City, but it's not within the city of New York or the state of New York. So I don't understand why there would be a solicitation that first would ask that we potentially purchase private property when we own public property as a government entity already. The Willow Grove Naval Air Station has been bracked, has been reduced, has security, has a lower cost of living than that which exists in New York for your employees, and a variety of other kinds of infrastructure that's already there, including infrastructure in which they have been handling flights for a period of time. Wouldn't those all be factors that will be, I think, naturally conducive to a sort of a retrofitting of this?
As I mentioned, I'm not familiar with the site. It's certainly something we can...
Can I have your commitment as this process goes along that we will not automatically have a preferential consideration for one state, and explain to me why that preference would be there?
You have my commitment to certainly look at the site.
You didn't tell me, though, why we would prefer one state over another. Why?
As I mentioned, it's to minimize our impact on the employees based on Long Island.
Excuse me, Mr. Meehan, you can go to round two if you choose. We're going to try to respect the other members.